Welcome to It's Happening in Grand Prairie, Texas. We're delighted to have you in our viewing audience and hope you will really enjoy the most that we can bring to you from Grand Prairie, Texas on a very special subject, Memorial Day. And we have the Memorial Angel of Grand Prairie, Texas, that for many long years with the city of Grand Prairie has been the chair of pulling together one of the most important probably celebrations that we have in Grand Prairie, Texas. And we're so pleased to introduce our wonderful horticulturist. She's everything from an arborist to president of many things in the state, in the district, and in the region. And that is Miss Susan Henson. How do you do?
Well, thank you, Miss Ruthie. It's a pleasure to be here, particularly to talk about this subject.
This wonderful Memorial Day. That's a great happening in Grand Prairie, Texas, isn't it?
It's a wonderful happening in Grand Prairie, Texas. A lot of people don't know about it.
Yeah.
And we put on an event that rivals what's going on at the National Cemetery, I've been told.
Yes.
But I'm too wrapped up in our ceremony to ever leave and go see
Go check it out.
Mm-hmm. But we're going to celebrate on the 30th, Monday, which is the traditional day, at our Veterans Memorial Event Center / Memorial at 925 Conover Drive. And most people will know it because it's behind the Memorial Library and behind the renamed Veterans Event Center, Memorial Event Center, which used to be the old Senior Center.
Yes.
And we've got a lot of things planned.
That's good.
You want me to go into all
You're
of them?
You're it today.
Well, we're going to have a 21-gun salute provided by the Grand Prairie Police Department, and it's always moving, and that happens right before the vintage aircraft flyover by the Commemorative Air Force. And it's going to consist of an R-4D, which is a huge bomber plane.
Oh, we're going to get the works this time, aren't we?
With 3 AT-6s, which were the fighter planes, with the Course Air wings that were built here in Grand Prairie, Texas by our citizens. I believe even Mr. Jackson worked on those.
Yeah, he worked on the AT-6, but he didn't work on the
R-4D.
one for ball. No, he did not.
No, those
but
were
we're going to have an AT-6 also. Three.
And one they'll come by and then they'll make another round.
Pass over.
And then they're going to have the missing man formation, and the third AT-6 will peel off with a smoke trail. Now, in addition, the levee singers are coming. And
who are the levee singers?
Well, you know, Miss Jackson, I really didn't know about them until last year when they showed up. Our director, Mr. Harold, you know, through the Uptown and all his
negotiations,
found this wonderful group of gentlemen. And when they walked up with a banjo, an electric piano, and a guitar, I'm like, okay. You would not believe the music this group produced, and it is directly from that era. And so we're going to roll right into a USO show after the event with our free All-American lunch, hot dogs, etc.
Provided by
the Rotarians of Grand Prairie, both the Tuesday and the Friday Club, which is the Metro, and then I believe the Friday Rotary Clubs. And they cook, they serve, they clean up. It's just wonderful. They even buy the food.
Is all of this outside, or do you have a place for this happening?
Well, we'll do the event outside, but in case it rains, we always have the Veterans Event Center to fall back on. And
so that's where the food's going to be, at the event center, and everything else is going to be out at the memorial, which is semi-outside, isn't it?
Right, and we have a new sculpture that will be dedicated this year. We dedicated one last year that was called Freedom, and they're flying out of a pentagon shape, the Doves of Freedom. And then we're having another one put in, and they're on inverted rock columns, which is just beautiful. And we have enough room for three or four more sculptures to go around. The whole venue is going to be beautiful. There's 60 flagpoles, as you know now, and those were sold by the Rotarians also to various organizations and individuals, and they have memorial plaques on them. So there's 60 huge flags. In addition, our Grand Prairie ROTC and South Grand Prairie ROTC will be posting the colors and leading the processional in. We have a Brigadier General coming to speak to us, Brigadier General Leon Johnson, and he's retired from the Air Force, Andrews Air Force Base, but has also worked with the Pentagon, and just we're really proud to have him come and be our speaker for the event.
Oh, that's great.
And I mentioned the 21 gun salute, the flyover, but I didn't mention our bagpiper, Don Shannon.
Yeah.
And you know, he was recently written up in the Dallas Morning News as one of the premier pipers in the state of Texas. And his piping is wonderful. So he'll be on site, and he leads the processional in, then he leads the recessional out. He also plays Amazing Grace while the DAR will be there laying our memorial wreath. Now we have at the memorial a marble column to each branch of the service.
Yeah.
And on those columns are etched the names of Grand Prairie residents that were killed during active service.
Yes.
And so their names are etched on the columns. We read those names on Memorial Day and chime after each name. And this year, we're going to bring their pictures out, unless it rains, and post all of those pictures outside in front of the podium for everyone to see.
Oh, how wonderful.
It'll be a new twist to the event that I think will add a new touch.
Yes, it will. Well, you've got things planned fairly well, but now, what time do we need to be there? And especially for the seating of those that are in wheelchairs and have other encumbrances that it takes them. Is the program going to start at 10?
It starts at 10, but we ask them to gather at 9:30 for that very reason, so that we can get our veterans and our speakers, etc., in the proper location, because this is a very an event with a lot of decorum, and we want to show a fitting tribute to these gentlemen
Yes.
and ladies. So what we do is it's kind of a time for us to practice. And we run through it really quick, and then everybody's in line, and we're set up and marching down the aisle, starting the event at the ceremony at 10 o'clock.
And we stay there approximately 45 minutes or an hour, and then we go next door to the event center where we have hot dogs and fun. And are you doing any interviews this year with your veterans?
No, ma'am. We will continue the interviews on Veterans Day.
On Veterans Day.
On Veterans Day. And we have a DVD that we're developing of all those interviews, and we have it edited currently with the interviews that we've stockpiled. So we'll be running that in a loop in one of the rooms in the center, so you'll be able to view that. And we will also have a USO show presented by the Levy Singers.
Okay.
So it's going to be eventful. We're
Yes.
going to have so many things going on. Oh, we're giving away redbud trees.
Redbud trees. How
Yes,
appropriate.
ma'am. So that you can take them home and plant them in memory of someone that you've lost, or someone that you just want to memorialize by planting a tree. And the redbud is a nice spring flowering tree. It's a Texas redbud, so it's native and adaptive to this area and should just grow up to be a huge big tree.
That's
and a
wonderful.
tribute,
That's good.
lasting tribute.
Yes.
All we ask is that when you come and get your tree, it's part of our Million Tree Initiative, so we're going to need to have your address just so that we know where it's going and we can plot it on our map.
Now, that was something that we went to over in North Dallas, wasn't it?
Yes, ma'am. We went all the way over to Dallas, and it's called Tree the Town program, and it's a 3 million tree initiative. In the next 10 years, several cities in this area have gotten together and made the pledge that we will plant 3 million trees in the next 10 years.
Yes, but how many do we plant just in Grand Prairie, Texas, and you're responsible for those?
60,000.
In 10 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you do 60,000 in 10 years? Is that about 6,000 a year?
Yes, ma'am. It's about 6,000 a year.
Does that count the beginning from January of this year, or does it start when we went to the meeting?
January of this year.
So you're already behind time.
Yes, ma'am, but you know what? We made it up at Arbor Day.
We did.
Because we gave out around 1,300 trees, and 700 of them went to Crockett Elementary fifth graders. They all came out in force and had a great time at Arbor Day, and we gave out the 1,300 trees, and we have addresses on all those trees.
We're getting into trees and things now instead of this Memorial Day, so you need to tell me a little bit more about the program happening. Who will be in the line marching in? Tell us about something about how you structure this.
Well, of course, we'll have our mayor in attendance,
yes,
and yourself bringing the proclamation, greetings from the council. Council members will be in the processional. We have our column personnel, and those are uniformed personnel, currently or retired, that stand at attention in front of those columns as tribute to our fallen.
All during the ceremony?
For the 45 minutes to an hour.
And how do you arrange to get those that represent all of those? Is it 5 different columns?
5 columns, one to each branch of the service.
Yes.
So that's the Coast Guard, the Marines, Air Force, Navy, Army. And they come, I call Congressman Marchant, and his military liaison is John Hayes, and he helps me with that every year.
That is wonderful.
And most of them are recruiters, but we also have some retired generals that come.
Yeah, that is great.
So our MC will be Dr. Poteet, Jerry Poteet, and he's a retired chaplain.
I would like for you to look out into your camera that says guest, and I would like for you to invite everyone to come and pay a tribute to some ex-military person or some veteran, whether they know them or not, and come and be with us on that day and get an experience that is really non-political. It is so exciting to be there, and I'd like for you to make a pitch.
We would like for you all to come out on the 30th of May to 925 Conover Drive, where we have built a fitting memorial tribute to our veterans, and come pay tribute to someone, anyone. We all know someone, and even if we don't know them personally, they've taken care of our chance to have freedom to live here and say and do what we want in the United States. But this is our chance to give back to them with a fitting tribute. So at 9:30, no later than 10 o'clock, be on site at 925 Conover Drive for the flyover, the 21 gun salute, posting of the colors, and just come out and have a wonderful time with lunch, a USO show, and don't forget your memorial tree.
Thank you very, very much for being here today, my dear.
Thank you for having me.
You're invaluable to us.
Oh, this just makes it so much better, and we hope you all will come out and help us pay tribute.
God bless America, and we'll be right back with the rest of our show.
Ah, George Strait. And don't mess with Texas. 2 Texas icons just like, come on, this jacket. It's custom and is perfect for fighting litter with glitter. Huh? You don't like the jacket. And I like the jacket! But you love horses, huh? Am I right? Look at that. George doesn't like the horse. Of course you don't like the horse. It's a tiny horse. What you need are boots! Because the king of country can't go walking around barefoot.
Hang on. I think I got this. Don't mess with Texas means don't litter.
That's a wrap!
We have the Lifeline Shelter Honchos of the Year. And we're just so pleased to bring to you Mr. Kim Thorne, who is the president, and we bow to the president today and welcome you to the set, Mr. Kim Thorne.
It's my honor to be here on behalf of Lifeline. Thank you, Ruthie.
Yes, and when you're a president and an attorney and a historian and a longtime Grand Prairian and have a mother that is an angel absolutely in Grand Prairie, Texas, and is still doing wonderful things for Grand Prairie, we're just blessed to have you on this set.
I'm blessed to be here.
Yes,
and
you
to
are.
have that mother and to have this experience in Grand Prairie.
And all of this wonderful family that you have here.
Thank you. I'm proud of them.
Thank you for being the president of Lifeline Shelter, because that leads you into many other things that you really expect, and yet some things that you didn't expect. And you didn't expect to be seated on the dais here with Georgia Clemson.
You know, I'm only here because of Georgia Clemson and Angela Gessner and Lila Thorne are the preceding presidents of Lifeline, who promised that if I would accept this position, they would do all the work, and they have. So
And they're going to make you famous, of course.
I hope so.
Georgia Clemson, we're glad to have you here today, my dear.
Thank you.
And as a past president, and I believe you're the chair of this event that's going to be happening, the Freedom Luncheon, so you're going to be of a great help to those of us that don't know all of the details, okay?
Wonderful.
That's wonderful. Your Majesty, sir, what's happening with the Lifeline Shelter with you as the president?
Well, I'm struggling to carry on the traditions established, the high standards established by, as I said, my predecessors in office. And they did set a wonderful precedent and develop the credibility of Lifeline in this community, and a recognition of the need to prevent homelessness among the families of children in our school district. So I think that that's a recognized problem, a real crisis, and Lifeline is doing its best with tremendous community support to address the problem.
I thought it was so unusual for a group of mostly ladies that got together and said, we just must do something for them. I thought, well, the first thing I thought of, well, why doesn't the PTA do it? Why doesn't the school do it? Why did Seroptimus do it? Because I guess they had a heart more for something that they knew was happening, that they wanted to tell everyone else about it, didn't they?
Well, it takes heart. It takes a recognition of the vulnerability of people, of the fact in our society that so many people are on the verge of having their financial collapse, that
Yes.
their financial obligations exceed their financial resources.
Yes.
And it goes back a ways as to the development of Lifeline in Grand Prairie, but that's the crisis that we're trying to address.
How often do y'all meet, and what kind of a board do you have? Several members?
We have a board of approximately 20 members, and wonderful people. Several of the other social service organizations in Grand Prairie are represented on our board. In fact, we owe our whole development and initial existence to the joining together of many social service organizations, and we meet once a month at the Seroptimist House, the Seroptimist Club's been an integral part
Yes.
of our whole development. I think it's really, so far as an organization, the genesis of how we got started.
Yes, with Angela as the stem winder of the whole world and our founder of Lifeline. She was just absolutely marvelous and would not sit still unless we all got involved in it, and that was a tribute to her.
Angela is a person for whom we all have the greatest admiration. She's like Georgia Clemson and like her mother, Ms. Jackson, that have a great spirit and heart for community service, and when there's a need that needs to be addressed, she won't stop.
All right, let's talk about this. What y'all going to have happening? Are you going to tell it, or is Georgia going to tell it? What are we doing for this power play that we're doing in June?
Lifeline is fortunate to have Georgia Clemson heading up our Freedom Luncheon program, and I'd like for Georgia to explain it.
That's raising funds.
Absolutely. It's
All right.
our 8th annual Freedom Luncheon.
Is it?
Can you believe it?
Number 8.
It's wonderful. We plan to have this on June the 16th, which is a Thursday,
Yes.
from 11 to 1 at the Ruth E. Jackson Center. And it is a wonderful event. We will have, of course, we'll have wonderful lunch from Edelman's, and we will have a silent and audible auction.
Both?
Yes, wonderful event.
No wonder you're raising funds.
Absolutely. This is our biggest fundraiser of the year.
All right. Who's in charge of all this good stuff?
Well, actually, I'm the chairman, but we have so many people working on it. We have our auction committee, which is Susan Hart and Aletha Hicks, and they have many working with them. And Diane Wynn is working with them also.
They are
with that.
so busy. Those 3 ladies are. I'm glad you have them.
And they have other people working with them on that committee. They're going out and soliciting items for the auction.
Yes.
And they're doing a great job.
And who is your auctioneer?
Auctioneer this year, we're going to have Tom Hart.
Not the city manager.
Absolutely.
How
Absolutely.
wonderful.
He has done it for us once before, and he did a wonderful job.
Oh, that is really great. And you have the city manager, and you have his wife as captive working in this thing, too.
I know.
You can't beat that for a city.
Wonderful supporters of Lifeline and our community.
Oh.
We appreciate them so much.
That is great.
Also, Lila Thorne is working with us on this committee.
Oh, Lila.
The whole board. We have a working board. Our board is fabulous. They are very supportive, and they get out and hustle tables, items, and everything we need for this event.
Did y'all meet this morning?
Yes, we had a board meeting this
Before
morning.
you came to this session?
Yes, absolutely. And there's so much going on. We're all really looking forward to this and counting down. Now, we have some sponsors who have already committed for this event. We have, not only do we have sponsors, we're selling tables, and of course individuals can come also, but a table of 8. If you would like to purchase a table of 8, it's $200, and that, of course that's $25 per person. But you can just invite your friends and have a great time at this event. Actually, we have already sold 2 tables to the class of 1965, which are going to use this
From
as a
what
mini
school?
From Grand Prairie High School, and they'll use this as a mini reunion.
Are you
where
going
they
to
can
get a
together.
complimentary one from South?
Well, we would like to. We'd like to, and the class of 64 is putting together a table. So, and we have churches, organizations, civic organizations, groups, businesses, and friends who just come in and buy a table of 8 and fill it up with their own guests. And it's a wonderful opportunity for them.
Do you think your drawing card is going to be your main speaker of the day, or are you having a main speaker?
Well, we haven't confirmed our main speaker, but we have someone in mind that will be excellent. In fact, we really don't focus on the speaker.
No.
We visit. We have the auction, we hear about Lifeline, and it's just a wonderful event.
Do you have any testimonials coming from Lifeline usually at this thing?
Absolutely. We will have some. In fact, Kim will probably present those.
Oh, how wonderful. I see you're getting involved in this already.
Well,
He's
I'm
very
very
involved.
and fortunately, with, as I said, with fabulous help.
Yes, yes.
We've had been blessed with at least 400 people from the community
Yes.
coming and enjoying this great event, and the $25 ticket might be high for lunch for some people, but the bargains that they're going to pick up in our silent auction are going to make up for that.
Oh, that's
And of
wonderful.
course, it's for such a incredibly important community project.
Yes. Tell me about your affiliation with the schools. Now, we have the superintendent has expressed a real love for this program. As a matter of fact, she's given us an edge on a lot of things because of Lifeline Shelter. How do you find working with this wonderful lady that we have?
Well, Dr. Susan Hull has given her heart to Lifeline. She's put Lifeline high on her very, very demanding schedule. And in fact, incredibly, we've been honored by her recently joining the board as a member.
Oh, really?
Yes, she has.
Not serving on your board.
She's serving on our board.
Isn't that unusual?
I think it is.
Oh, I do too.
We've our whole Lifeline's whole project really emanates through the school district. Started through the school district.
Yeah.
And Christine Gonzalez, who's
Excellent.
a member of the school district, is the head of the program called the Connections Program that is the gateway for our clients into Lifeline. And Dr. Hull has worked with school district employees and every January sponsors a luncheon fundraiser for Lifeline. The school district has given Lifeline space for our offices
Yes.
in the former school administration building at 202 College Street.
Would you believe that we've used up almost all of our time? Tell us the rest of the story.
When you love what you're doing and you have an important mission, time goes by really rapidly. But you know, I would say that there's a philosophical saying about a society,
Yes.
Civilization, and going back maybe as far as ancient Greek times to Aristotle, but attributed to many people, to the effect that a civilization is judged by not by how it treats its highest citizens, but by how it treats its most vulnerable.
Most wonderful.
And by that standard, Grand Prairie is a very high up on that list.
All right. Now, look into your guest camera and invite everyone to come to your 8th annual Lifeline Shelter Freedom Luncheon.
Please do come. You'll enjoy yourself and you'll feel good about your participation. This is an important event for the whole community.
Yes, it is. Any last word, Georgia Clemson?
Yes, ma'am. If you would like to go online and reserve your table or tickets, you can do that by going to jwalker@bonairservice.com, or you can give me a call at 972-647-2425, or Lila Thorne a call at 214-244-5978. We would love to see you there. If you have auction items or anything to donate, just give us a call.
Yes. Thank y'all for being here today. Y'all are blessed,
Pleasure.
blessing us, and thank you very much for taking the time from your other curricular activities, and thank you. And this is Ruthie Jackson reminding you that it's happening in Grand Prairie, Texas, and it's happening through wonderful services such as the Lifeline Shelter and the other things we talked about today, especially Memorial Day. Thank you for watching our show.